The Chargers play the Steelers this Sunday, and this is going to be a real test for the Chargers to see where they stack up against the rest of the AFC. The Steelers are a pretty good team. They play that same brand of football that the Chargers are playing with Jim Harbaugh now, and I think the Chargers, they've already proven that they are capable of winning with that brand of football the way that they want to, like running the ball at will and stopping the run on defense, having that dominant defense. Like they beat the Raiders in week 1 by 12 by playing dominant defense and rushing really well in the second half. And then the Raiders, they go out and then they beat the Ravens last week. And also last week, the Chargers completely blew out the Panthers. And while the Panthers, they are a bad team, yes, they handled them exactly how a good team should, which is a blowout game. So that just shows to me that this team is different, because the Chargers, they would always play down to their competition. Like the past decade, that's what they would do, and they didn't do that. So this week, they're going to go out and face one of the best defenses in the NFL and one of the best edge players in the NFL in TJ Watt. It's going to be a big test for them, especially Joe Alt, and we'll get into that matchup. But can they continue to play their style of football and win this game against a team that is also well coached and plays the exact same brand of football? Now, I want to start out with this Chargers offense because I think this is like the key matchup here. Justin Herbert, he has not been playing very well to start this season, and he already has 2 injuries. He suffered one last week against the Panthers. He's been playing, he's been in and out of practice this week, really. He's on the injury report, and he also had that injury in training camp that held him out for a couple of weeks. So, and it was on the same foot, by the way, that right foot, but his passing stats, they're lower. And that's because the Chargers, yes, they are running the ball more, and they're doing it really efficiently, but he also seems to be trying to force passes at times. He's missing reads as well at times. It seems like he's trying to do too much, which is weird because now he doesn't need to do too much. And he is still capable of going out there and winning a game by himself. And he's likely going to get that opportunity to do it and get it going because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And at some point, the run game is not going to be getting like 5 yards a pop, and J.K. Dobbins is not going to be playing like this exceptional freak that he is right now. And I think this could be that game where Justin Herbert gets going and proves that he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, because a lot of people like to disrespect him. I think the Steelers, they could disrespect this Chargers passing offense just by putting all of their defenders in the box and committing all of these resources to stop the run, because J.K. Dobbins has been the best running back in the league thus far. So they commit to stopping the run. And if they do that, Justin Herbert, that offense, that might open up this passing game using that play action. Greg Roman knows how to get these guys schemed open over the middle of the field with those tight ends and underneath routes, like shallow routes with Quentin Johnston. I think they're going to try and attack the middle of this defense if they can't get that run game going. So watch out for a possible big game from Justin Herbert. And this Steelers defense, their back end, they're playing pretty well right now. They have 2 good safeties with Deshaun Elliott and Minkah Fitzpatrick. And also their 7th round pick out of Purdue this year is their highest graded cornerback so far, and he's already gotten an interception on just 28 snaps. But they also have Joey Porter Jr. out there at that cornerback spot. This is a pretty good secondary. And they have allowed 401 passing yards, which puts them at 14th in the NFL, so not really a great number there. But when you look deeper into it, their defensive passing efficiency is 5th in the NFL. And they also have the 3rd best rushing efficiency. And the Chargers, they have the 8th best on offense. So that is where this game, it's really going to be won, on the ground. And probably on this side of the ball too. The biggest thing is, can the Chargers run the ball? And if they can't, then can Justin Herbert throw the ball against this defense and put up some points? The Steelers, they have TJ Watt. And he's going to affect this game both in the run and the pass. He's one of the best defensive players in the NFL. He's a really good pass rusher, and he always comes up clutch in those big moments when the offense is trying to pass the ball late in the game. But he also does some really good work in the run game too. So he's going to impact the Chargers run game a lot. And that actually might determine where they run the ball. Last week against the Panthers, they were running the ball specifically on that left side behind Rashawn Slater, and they had a lot of success there. TJ Watt, he plays most of his snaps on the right side, and he's going to be lined up against Joe Alt, the rookie. So that is a big matchup to watch right here. Joe Alt was the highest graded tackle in week 2 against the Panthers, and he currently ranks as the 11th best tackle in the NFL right now, and that's according to PFF, the overall grades of tackles. He held Max Crosby in week 1 to no pressures, Really, I mean, PFF said he allowed one pressure, but if you look at the snap, I wouldn't count that as a pressure. And he did struggle against him in the run game on a few plays in week 1. Again, that was his debut game as a rookie against one of the best edge. I think Max Crosby is the best edge player in the NFL right now, and he held him to no pressures. Just had a couple plays against him in the run where he didn't play well. But TJ Watt, he's a very good defensive player. Can he wreck the game and take advantage of the rookie Joe Alt? Or is Joe Alt just going to continue to be one of the best tackles in the NFL, just like his teammate Rashawn Slater on the left side, who is the 4th highest graded tackle in the NFL right now? That is this tackle duo, this offensive line. They are dominant. And speaking of dominant, J.K. Dobbins has been the best running back in the NFL through 2 weeks. He's been like making records, and he has rushed for the most yardage while being only 21st in attempts. This is not surprising to me at all, and I'm sure it's not surprising to the Steelers fans because you guys saw how good he was when he was with the Ravens. As long as J.K. Dobbins stays healthy, I think he's going to continue that dominance and maybe even get better, because I would expect this offensive line to get better week to week throughout the season because they're going to be playing together. They're going to have better chemistry. And also, Joe Alt is a rookie, a young guy. Zion Johnson, left guard, is also a young guy. They're going to hopefully continue to get better as they progress throughout their careers. And they're going to be going up against the Steelers' defensive line, which is led by a couple of veterans like Cameron Heyward and TJ Watt. But they also have some other solid players along that defensive line that a lot of people don't really know about. Alex Highsmith on the edge opposite of TJ Watt. I saw a lot of really good stuff out of him, and he kind of blossomed like 2 or maybe 3 years ago. I think it was 2022. And then Larry Ogunjobi is a defensive lineman who also pretty good against the run. The weakest part of this defense, the Steelers defense, I think is Patrick Queen, and that was a big money free agent signing for him, so that's probably disappointing to a lot of Steelers fans, but he doesn't look that good in coverage or against the run. And I think the Chargers, they're going to want to attack the middle of the field, both in the passing game, and they're going to force him to make tackles in the run game because he has a 36.4 missed tackle rate so far this year. And J.K. Dobbins, he has forced 9 missed tackles on only 27 attempts. Now, on the other side of the ball, Justin Fields, he has been the quarterback for the Steelers because Russell Wilson, he's been injured. He was like named the starter, but now I think they're going to roll with Justin Fields probably throughout the rest of this year. But he's going to be the quarterback this Sunday, and he's playing some pretty good game manager football right now. He's not been spectacular by any means. He only has 273 yards and 1 touchdown, but he does not have any interceptions, and he has no fumbles, which is a big thing for Justin Fields, and that makes the Steelers +5 in the turnover differential. That's how they want to win this game. That's how they want to win games in general, is by playing really good defense and playing game manager football on offense. And really, this Steelers offense is extremely conservative, and they want to do like just enough to win the game, and then they allow their defense to be aggressive and go win the game, secure the win, because they can go out there and get takeaways. If the Chargers can put up like 3 scores or more, I think that would be enough to outscore this Steelers offense, because while Justin Fields is an athletic freak and he's playing some pretty good conservative football right now, he just doesn't read the field well, and he can't get anything going in the passing game deep down the field, and I think that's why the Steelers offense has been limited, and it's really run heavy. The Chargers defense, they've played exceptional to start this season, and PFF grades them, their run defense, as 4th best in the NFL, and their coverage grade as the 2nd best in the NFL as team defense. That's an elite 90.1 coverage grade, by the way. And this could be a long day for the Steelers offense, because I don't know if their offensive line can stack up against this Chargers defensive line, which has been really good to start the year, specifically those edge rushers like Dan Moore, and then either Broderick Jones or Troy Fautanu are going to be those tackles. And I think they're going to struggle against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, even Tuli Tuipulotu. And on top of that, the Steelers don't really have any weapons outside of George Pickens on that offense. I mean, you could argue that Najee Harris is their next best weapon, because outside of George Pickens, those wide receivers, they only have 28 yards combined. So the biggest question for me on this side of the ball is, are the Steelers going to be able to score like more than 3 times? I don't know if they will be able to do that with Justin Fields. Like I said, he's been playing really good game manager football, but at some point you need to go out there and win the game. Is he going to be capable of doing that in crunch time the way that Justin Herbert has proven that he can. So I think what ultimately is going to end up happening is the Chargers, they try to establish the run to start this game. I think they're going to have a hard time doing it. So then they end up using play action. They get their offense going with some deep passes, intermediate routes, and Justin Herbert starts to play his best game of the season. He bounces back. He proves that he can still throw for some ridiculous numbers if you give him the opportunity. And then I also think the Steelers offense, not really going to be able to get much going throughout the air, but on the ground, I think by utilizing Justin Fields' mobility, they're going to be able to take advantage of this Chargers defense, because there were a couple of lanes, honestly, that opened up last week against the Panthers and Bryce Young. He didn't see them, and Justin Fields, I think he's probably going to see him. He's got better field vision as a runner, and that could be a way that the Steelers offense ends up getting going, maybe scores a touchdown or two because of that. But I think the Chargers are ultimately going to win this game by being more aggressive on offense than we've seen these past 2 weeks. And they're also probably going to attack the middle of the Steelers defense, while the Chargers defense, I think they're going to be able to hold the Steelers to less than 20 points. So that is what I expect to happen. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen and who you expect to win this game. This is a big one.